Okay, welcome everyone. Today is February 19, 2025. Today is a special budget workshop. We're going to focus in on the fire and ambulance funds and the minor funds. Again, this is a workshop, not a formal board meeting, so no voting will be taking place. This is more just for discussion of the board. I have all board members present. I passed out a packet. Again, I kind of reviewed this at the very first budget workshop, but the last 4 years we've done a lot with the fire and ambulance. In 2021, we had a new ambulance remount. The new fire station number 3 was built at Mound and completed. We had a ribbon ceremony that year. 2022, we secured the 10 acres on 31 Mile for a future potential fire station 4 in the future there, along with the park. We also ordered new long lead items of a fire truck and the ambulance. Then 2023, the fire union contract was completed for 5 years. The new fire station number 2 refurbish was completed that year. We signed a 10-year ALS Stryker with Stryker. This is for equipment for our ALS department. The key benefits of that was that it would be the same price for 10 years while having top-notch equipment each year. We can turn in the equipment each year. 2024, the new fire truck and ambulance arrived from 2022 because of the long lead items. Staffing remains the same in 2024. 2025 now, you'll see in the upcoming, we propose the same amount of staffing. We are looking into purchasing a new fire ladder truck because of the lead time is, I put 2 to 3 years, it's more like 3 to 4 years, and along with the ambulance order just due to the lead time. Staffing remains the same for the upcoming year. Again, the phase 1 and phase 2 of the new fire station at 30 and Powell and the training center. Again, we're looking at grant funding part or most of this, and also the training center, the live burn center. This will help generate funds as well from other fire departments in the area to do training and help with our ISO standards. So you'll see before you, this is the fire budget. The fire revenue is what you'll see the last, the first column is obviously the year of 2024, 3/31/24 year ending actuals. The second column is what the budget is for the current year, ending 3/31/25. The actual is through December 31st. Again, a lot of the numbers haven't been updated because we're still tying up, and this column is live until 3/31/25. You'll see before you the requested for year 1 and year 2. Again, the big items here is obviously the new fire station proposed build, which is showing the use of, you'll see transfers and contingencies. If we were to pay cash, you would see we would have to go into our fund balance. Mike Nice has been talking to our bonding company. I'd like for the board to look into this, probably the next 1 or 2 meetings. We'll discuss looking into doing a potential bond, not just for the fire department, but also for the fire truck and any construction needs at 30 and M53 to help with the redesign for that intersection is very dangerous. We're getting traffic report done as well from AEW on that intersection to analyze that. Again, bonding's a lot of benefits to bonding is because we don't have to use the cash. We can pay that over 20 years at a low interest rate. We are AA+ bond rated, so we pay the lowest interest rate. We'll get more details to the board on that. They did for Station 1, though, they did put in for a couple maintenance items, like some areas do need new carpet and new cabinets on the building's already, over 20 years old already. The time kind of flew by. 10, yeah, it's about 15, yeah. So the building's operated 24 hours a day, and the good news, in the meantime, current fire station 2 eventually will become the substation. We met with the chief last week. with our command officer, we are going to make a room in the back of that, so temporarily they can begin going there at the 30-mile location at Fire Station 2, give that a home to the police department substation, and help with that transition there. It'll free up a lot of space at current station, Fire Station 1, with not only parking, but office space, so we've outgrown it there. Again, the other big item, most items is 50-50 between fire and ambulance, unless it's ambulance specific. The big item here for the fire department is the ladder truck. It's $2.4 million. It's very expensive, and again, it's a 2 to 3 year lead time. They also put a Jaws of Life, so we would have 3 sets. We have 2 currently. Kind of hit the highlights. Anything else? Okay. Ambulance is the other part of that. Again, you'll see the revenue. This is the portion we get from the millage on that. Both the ambulance and fire millage, we are operating under millage, under voter-approved millage. On the ambulance side, again, you'll see we did put in for the new ambulance due to the lead time of that. That again is another 2 to 3 year lead time on that. Again, staffing's the same. There's no big surprises. So I know I've kind of thrown out. I don't know if there's any questions on fire or emergency. We have both the chief here and the assistant. If you guys have any specific questions on it. Again, as a finance background, I think doing a bond is better long-term because of we can keep the cash in our account, and the interest rate is like around 3%, so it's over 20 years, and it would free up our fund balance. It wouldn't even touch it, and basically, we could finance all these projects under a 20-year bond. But we'll get the specifics at upcoming meeting before I'm misquoted somewhere online.
So, Sam, the bonds,
Yeah.
is there a big cost to issue that, or otherwise it seems like it's a better solution to big expenditures like this?
Yeah, is it just the annual percentage rate, or is there a cost up front to do it? Or?
Right, is there some kind of a large cost on the front end to do a bond issue?
Yeah, I'm going to ask the treasurer.
Okay. Just asking.
You can talk to them.
Okay, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so there will be some upfront costs in that. We don't know what that's going to be yet because we have the bond counsel to pay for, and then we have to put it out for the market. We won't know until exactly the dollar amount that we're looking for, what items are going to be categorized for that area or for the bond usage. So we actually won't know until we actually get the process started, what it's actually going to be for everybody.
Okay. Have we done bond issues like this in the past?
We have. The last one we did is in 2019, and that's where most of the road construction came from. So we could use the same bond counsel that we do, which was as, I forgot the name, Patrick McGowan, and then we use Bob Azinski as the bond representative to sell this into the market.
Okay, so you're expecting a similar scenario to the cost and execution of it?
Yes, sir. Yep. But first we got to do the paperwork internally before we can even go any type of cost. It has to be publicized. We have to board approval. Then it has to be item specific on which areas we want to use that bond for. So if we put $20 million in, and I'm just going to use this as an example, under the fire station, that's all it can be used for. We can't use it for any roads. We can't use it for any building improvements. It's got to be used specifically for how that is done. And that's because that's how the bondholders are, the promise that we're made to the bondholders to make sure that is being completed correctly.
So can it be used for both the building and the equipment, the fire truck, the ladder truck?
Only if we designate it that way. So
Okay.
what we did last time is there were 3 or 4 categories that we broke out that we decided that the township needed, and then those are only the categories that we can spend that money on.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would make sense to try to group as much together into a single bond issue that you can. That makes sense.
It does, yes.
All right.
And again, before anything's done, we'll bring it to the board before anything's done.
But no, but it makes perfectly good sense when you have a large expenditure like that to spread it out over time. So I agree with that.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No other questions? Then I guess we'll go to the minor funds. So the minor funds are made up of 6 different budgets here. We'll wait for it to pop up on the screen. Okay, so the first minor, oh wait, I'm going ahead of you guys.
There it comes. Got it.
Okay, so the first one's called the Street Lighting Assessment Fund. This one's pretty much in and out. These are subdivisions that, before these subdivisions, a DTE wouldn't sign a contract with homeowner associations, so they preferred to sign up with the township. So the township actually has the contract, but in return, we do an SAD with the homeowner association to collect the funds for the lighting. We have about a dozen or so. I don't remember when the cutoff was, to be honest, but some of the newer homeowner associations now deal directly with DTE, so that's gone away. And you'll notice here Washington Point 1, Washington Point 2 are actually the same sub. They were done in 2 phases. They've actually broken off and gone back. They deal with DTE directly, so you'll see the activity for those have gone to 0. So hopefully over time we can get these all back to dealing with DTE directly. It's more just money in, money out to, we collect the money through taxes to pay for their lighting, and then we turn it over to DTE. That's this fund. So there's no gain or loss in this fund. It's just money in, money out. The next one is called the Liquor Fund. This is revenue we get from the state sharing. It's around anywhere between 16 to 18,000 a year we collect on that. And this is, the money spent on this is, it goes, we have the contract with the sheriff department, it's around 14,400 to monitor the liquor fund on, for this fund. Next is a sidewalk fund. The sidewalk fund, this is for, we have 3 different sidewalk funds. This one is for municipality-owned property. This would be like sidewalk in front of the township hall, sidewalk in front of a park we own, or sidewalk in front of a fire department, that kind of stuff. So we've always put money aside there. We've never used it all. It's more as a maintenance thing if a piece of sidewalk should crack or shift. And so last year we used like $10,000. This year we're currently at around 11,000. We've done a few different spots around the township. Last year we added some sidewalk in front of Brab Cemetery. We've had a few different instances. So every year the DPW goes around making sure our sidewalk is safe. And I know we have a little portion here on Old Van Dyke that's by township-owned property. We have to investigate that this year if that needs to be fixed or replaced. So that's the sidewalk fund. The police fund, you'll see it here. This is covering all 18 and a half deputies and the command officer. Part of the 18 and a half is the dispatcher we pay for as well at the county. The half is the police liaison. We pay half, and Romeo Schools pays the other half of that person. So this is reflecting their latest contract. It's a 3-year contract. They have their own union that the county negotiates with the police, the deputies there. this one? That capital fund, this one, the last couple of years, we've spent a lot of money in road repair. So last year, you'll see we spent a lot of money on road repair. For the upcoming year, I've really tightened the belt. We've done a lot of road work. We have a lot of grants out there for TIP. They call them TIP grants. We got approved for the one on Mound from 29 to 32. So I'm trying to get more grants this year for other roads if we can. If you go to the next slide, I kind of broke it down. We've been putting $1 million a year for sidewalk gap program. We haven't spent $1 million a year, but we've been allocating that. This year coming up, a lot of the sidewalk gaps will be on 29 and 28 Mile connecting to the Orchard Trail. We share in a 3 mile of limestone program with the county. That's a $30,000 cost share. Each year, the municipality can pick up to 3 miles of limestone, and if the county agrees to it, they put limestone for the different dirt roads. Over the last several years, we've done every dirt road at least once in Washington Township. We were looking at doing Hayes Road now, a mile each year with Ray Township to kind of combine our efforts to get Hayes done. That's one of the possibilities. Also, DeQuinder on the west side, because that's been neglected over the years with no limestone. I did list the other capital projects as paving 30.5 to 32 mile. That'll be covered this year by the ARPA funds. We've allocated the ARPA funds to pay for that. The 30 mile and M53, the ramp design, that we're still working with AEW to look at to see if we can fix that ramp design, to change that. And then the 26 mile bridge construction, that is all covered through ARPA funds and the $850,000 SEMCOG grant. So I'm not showing a lot of capital expenditure for the upcoming year. As placeholders, I've put a lot in year 2 just so we don't lose sight of it. Again, I did the 3 mile of limestone, the continuation of the sidewalk gap committee. The traffic light at 26 and Hayes, I left our portion of, it's basically 12.5%. The 4 townships, 3 of the 4 townships agreed to it. The county agreed to it. We're still working with Ray Township to see if they would come up with it. That continues to be a hot spot for accidents. It's our #1 spot for complaints and accidents and because of the way the intersection's done. By redoing that intersection, they would actually reconstruct the intersection with proper turn lanes and obviously put a traffic light. So Ray Township has some new board members, so I'm hoping that we can change that between this year and next year. Last year, we paid for the design work of paving Shaner from 26 to 27. I put that in year 2 because so far it doesn't look like the county's looking to do the cost share with that yet. The benefits of paving Shaner from 26 to 27 will help dilute some of the traffic off of Jewel Road and Van Dyke Road, north and south. Snell Road, the residents in that area really want that portion paved from Mount Vernon to the county line. Last year, we did do the design work. That's submitted to the county. The county doesn't seem to, for this year, not to approve it for a cost share, so I put it in year 2 to see how that goes. Another popular area, once Powell was paved, I know there's been a lot of interest from paving 31 mile from Van Dyke to Powell to connect that area. So I just put that as a placeholder. The Mound Road TIP program, that's what I was talking about earlier. That's the 80% the government pays for, 10% the township, 10% the county. So hopefully that'll be next year. Most likely it'll be in 2027. So not all of it will be year 2, but I put it there more as a placeholder so you guys can see those are kind of on the horizon. Next is the cable fund. So I put that in. The last 3 years, I know we've really spent a lot of money on fixing up the building with new roof. Parking was kind of retired and repainted, and we've put new windows there. So the building's pretty sound. The only, I know the only like hot item that is on the radar is possibly new furnaces. Those are getting up in age over there. I have this, I have a meeting Monday with the Cable Commission. I'd like to discuss this more further with the Cable Commission then and bring it back to the board. We could talk about it, but overhead costs, we did cut it down a lot to try to trim up some of the expenses on the overhead of the cable fund. And then these are the minor funds. Monday, I'm going to need the budget workshop to go over the enterprise funds, which is DPW and building. So hopefully you guys are available Monday at 3 o'clock. I'll have the Google Meet for that as well. And then after Monday, we would have reviewed all the budget workshop, all the budgets here. So I know, again, this is a lot thrown at you as well. So if you guys, if you have any questions now, or if you want to like sit and digest it, and again, you could email me or call me or any one of us.
I don't have your job.
Huh?
I said, I feel like I'm happy I don't have your job.
No, it's okay. Just to go back to the capital, I kind of tightened it. It's one of those, when it's political time, I get bashed for it, but we have a healthy fund balance, but we also want good roads. So when the opportunity arose 2 years ago to have Mountain Road repay from 26 to 28, I jumped at it. I brought it to the board. We approved it. So, and the county knows I really want to fix certain roads. Campground north of 28's in shambles. Again, Mound Road north of 29 is really in bad shape. So if the opportunity approves sooner than that, I would bring it to the board if we have the ability to bring the roads sooner than later. It's one of those kind of,
Good.
I'm also pushing, they call it a PPP program, it's Preventative Pavement Program. And the county actually pays a bigger portion of that. And those have been a win-win because it's kind of, the road is still savable, but they, it's like an overlay they put to extend the life of the road, basically.
Sam, is there something, are we looking into something different for the cable, or are we just staying with the cable program?
Yeah, that's what I want the Cable Commission to kind of talk about on Monday.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah.
I can wait. Okay.
Before we jump into ahead, but yeah.
But if things did accelerate as far as time frames to get some of these roads fixed, we do have the funds to do it this year if that came to be.
Yeah, I do have a meeting, again, I meet with the Department of Roads pretty often, but I have another meeting. I always put our top 10 wish list, and, you know, I kind of explain, obviously, each one, the pros of fixing each one, but again, we get approved one or two. Being they're paving Powell this year, that's a big one that's going to take up a lot of time, so, but again, sometimes a spot will open, they give us a call, they're like, hey, we can fit this one in, and having Shaner already engineered and Snell engineered, that already speeds up the process, so they can sit on the shelf for like 30 years designed, and the county likes those kind of roads because they can pick it off the shelf and we can start paving pretty fast. It expedites all the permit process. So again, if I'm going to push for more, obviously, but if I get the green light, obviously I'll bring it right away back to the board.
Supposedly, our governor is pushing to get these roads fixed sooner, so we'll see.
Yeah. They don't like fixing mile roads. I mean, a mile at a time. They like doing stretches, which I guess, you know, obviously makes sense. But that's why Bound Road actually was a good qualifier. It was a 3-mile stretch
Right.
for that government one. But that was the pro of it. The con of it is that we have to wait a couple of years for it to fix. So every time it thaws from winter to spring, I cringe because the road breaks up more over there.
Me too. Time to drive on it.
The police fund, I just want to say, like, the ticket income has really grown high of it. The one that surprises me is the motor carrier fines, because those are pretty hefty fines, and I'm not seeing the revenue come in from that. So I've put calls into the court and the county to see if we can investigate those costs more. I know the court gets a piece of it, the police obviously get a portion of it, everyone gets a portion of it, but they seem very low, so I'm trying to investigate those costs more. Because every week the command officer's telling me they're pulling over one or two that are way overloaded or other issues, so and those are pretty hefty fines, those alone.
The paving on 31 Mile Road from Van Dyke to Powell, does that connect two paved areas of 31 Mile Road together? Or does that just extend the pavement on 31?
Yeah, so 31 is paved just a little bit east of the old Rite Aid there at the corner, and then it turns to dirt.
So would this connect paved areas, or would it just extend paved areas?
Well, once this year, Powell Road will be paved from 30 and a half to 32, so it'll connect Van Dyke to Powell. I mean, we're trying to push for that whole area to become industrial, so 31 would eventually, it'd be nice for it to be paved, so it would give different outlets to that area.
Yeah.
For
No, it'd be great to have 31
commercial.
paved. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. The west part of 31 from Van Dyke to Mound, they use the term checkerboard. It's some portions are paved, some aren't. And that's
Right.
kind of an engineering nightmare because you got to engineer all the different sections together, and it's probably cheaper to rip it all out, which is more of a pain to waste good concrete. But
But that's not in the works right now, right?
no, I mean, I have it as part of our wish list, of course. But
Okay. Okay.
But that's more complicated with engineering cost. And in fact, that portion from Mound to that sub right there, is it called Hidden Valley or Hidden Hill?
Yeah.
Hidden Estates, I think. Those homeowners actually paid a portion of it back in the day to pave it to Mound from their sub.
Makes
I know on
sense.
28 Mile, it's dirt. All the residents in Autumn Creek would like that paved from Jewel Road to the entrance of Autumn Creek. That's on the list. I could
Is that
email you
about
guys a list of all
was that a
those.
half a mile or so?
Yeah, I don't even think it's half a mile. It's not that.
Quarter mile? Okay, yeah.
And then, I mean, on the west side, being we have a trustee that represents that side, Mount Vernon's starting to get torn up. I've put that on the list, and 28 Mile as well going towards that way is starting to get beaten up. It's,
Okay.
when I took office, West Road was the worst road. Now that's one of the better roads.
Yeah, it's the nicest road we got.
Every time you fix a road, everyone
Makes all the
forgets.
roads
Everyone
worse.
forgets the road that's fixed. They remember the next one. It's,
Yeah, once you fix one road, all the other ones look bad. I don't know. You got to stay on top of it because otherwise they all get bad and you can't have that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of my goal. If we could do a road a year to, this way it's not all at once like we had a couple years ago. We had like several roads all at one year, which really took up a lot of time and money.
Right. Yeah.
Because then, I mean, we did Mound Road, West Road, 28, and Campground, and people were like, how am I supposed to drive anywhere? There was nowhere to go. All four roads were being done at the same time.
It's like telling everybody, stay out of Washington Township.
Yeah. The limestone program, it gets confusing to people. The county owns the roads. I mean, I'll say that a million times, people don't understand it, but they throw limestone out occasionally on all the dirt roads. The limestone program is for us to specifically pick 3 miles of segment to put limestone, which is a good benefit of cost sharing just for those 3 segments. But I get a lot of complaints from people like, they threw limestone. We can't stop them. If the county wants to put limestone, I mean, I relay the message back to the Department of Roads, but some people love limestone, some people hate limestone. There's no, that's a 50-50 kind of thing. And But yeah, I just don't want you guys to get confused with the 3 Mile program, because they throw limestone throughout the year. It's not just, got to see it firsthand.
Do we get help from Oakland County or the townships over there on DeQuinder? Is that like a dividing line, right?
That's the divine line. So there's a piece of the Quinder that actually comes in that's fully ours. Then it goes back to the dividing line. That's what I'm trying to figure out. If Oakland County does something like that, then we can share it as well. Like Hayes is simple with Ray Township because we do it. We're both in Macomb County, so we share it. So we can both use half a mile to make a whole mile, basically. Last year we did 26 to 27. Now we'd like to do 27 to 28.
Okay.
I just got an email from Lisa McLean's office and Senator Peters' office, I think it was yesterday, to submit grants for these fire department stuff. So I'm really hopeful. Again, a few months ago, we actually had a meeting in here. I know I said it before, with all the surrounding areas, fire department chiefs, and they're all in agreement to have this burn station here at Washington Township. It would benefit them, and it would also be another, again, not only help them, but another source of revenue for us. And if we can obviously take advantage of these grants, it would be a great win-win. So I'll be working with the chief and we'll get this done.
Okay.
It's, yeah, it's the first week of April sometime, yeah. So. Any other? If no questions, then I'll see you guys all at 6:30 for our board meeting. Workshop adjourned.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.